do a lot of foul shit. Like behind the scenes, he would do some foul shit. Like hating on, like doing things with people I'd done business with that he done business with. He would say shit that I was like, he said that to you?
Right.
I was like, yeah, it's all right. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and niggas don't know what they like till they see somebody with it. So they want the girls after you're done with them.
Yeah, leftovers.
Yeah.
You take your leftovers. A lot of time on leftovers.
The new baby oil.
Should start looking gray if you ain't got nothing on it.
It's got the new baby oil, bro.
This ain't baby oil.
Nigga, you ran through 8,000 jars of them in prison.
You know what I mean? He was Ashy Larry.
Relax.
I mean,
I still got everybody looking.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
yeah, that's what's up.
That's why I'm gonna be going to the puffy parties. You can hold you from the front and the back at the same time. Tell them about it.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, me and Dub C ain't never been to a Diddy party, motherfucker.
Like an R-A-P-E-R, got so many essays.
What's happening with Puffy? I know you're not really tapped in, but what is it?
The last thing I saw was like a guy there. He was like, yo, he like pushed me into the truck. It really hurt. And he sodomized me. Like he sodomized me. I was like, yo, look, I could find other things to do for money. Did you see the video? I could find other things to do for money. But I'm not sure I can say that for money. Like somebody pushed me.
How much is this guy trying to get?
I don't know. Like it's a simple suit situation, but it's like
20 mil. I can say it.
You still have to black his face out. You still have to mimic his voice because he's like,
but his voice wasn't even that different.
And a little deeper. I was like almost like, no, that's you, young buck.
Yo,
I almost felt like it was him. I almost knew who it was. You know what I mean? I was like, nah, that's Buck. You trying to get money right.
Yo, you can't say that dudes are having sex with other dudes, bro. That might come for you.
One person who was always anti-Diddy and was always speaking about Diddy as a problematic person was 50 Cent. And it turns out that it's just been announced that he's created a docu-series on Netflix. I can't wait to see this. The other end of that, every person who has tried to speak out about this, who has tried to speak out about the industry, the type of people that are controlling the industry, the attacks that people face from the media if they try to speak out, is always the same. They're called crazy. And an example of one such individual who went through those sorts of attacks is the actor Orlando Brown. He was on Disney, and I remember everyone telling us that he was totally insane and deranged when he was saying a lot of things that at the time sounded crazy, particularly about Diddy. Take a listen.
The requirement is you gotta say no to Diddy. If it's new booty in the building, you know he gonna get it.
Don't take your girlfriend to a Diddy party.
You can take the but he won't you.
Diddy, to me, is the fall guy. We are still seeing a major effort to protect the big names, just like
the internet erupted when explosive footage from Diddy's court case suddenly surfaced online, showing him in a vulnerable, cornered position during an intense line of questioning. The leaked video revealed the prosecution hammering Diddy with direct references to abuse, trafficking, and coercion, leaving viewers stunned. His once confident demeanor shifted to defensive silence, and this shift instantly triggered a media frenzy. Among the first to react publicly? None other than 50 Cent, a longtime critic of Diddy, who didn't hold back as the court revelations unfolded for the world to see.
An entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority in that, to be able to call people out. I mean, which is pretty amazing. You're kind of, in some ways, draining the swamp of Hollywood. And
yeah, I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of a peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way according to them. You know, and look, if I didn't have an award-winning director doing it, if I hadn't put the right people in place to produce it properly, I would understand why they would question or doubt anything that I'm doing. But you go to the 90s, and Keefy D said he paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah. Did he do it, right?
Yeah,
I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy. I mean,
but I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky shit. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
So it's not like
he hate Diddy, but you know, sometimes they do shit that we don't know about.
Well, for him to make the documentary, I think he hates Diddy.
Nah.
Nah?
That's business.
That's just business?
Business. You wouldn't be mad. Look.
You gotta really dislike someone to do a documentary about him.
If Jimmy Iovine did the doc.
It's not drama. It's just the truth finally catching up.
Bad Boy Entertainment. I named it Bad Boy because I wanted to go against the grain. Anytime you go against the grain, they consider you like kind of bad. Nothing negative, nothing like hardcore. Just, I didn't want to be regular. I didn't want to just make records. I didn't want to just make money. I wanted to make history. And that's all it's ever been about for me, making history. And making music that's timeless. Music that's gonna be around when I'm not here, when my kids ain't here. Music that is that good. And having artists and videos and things that, you know, really affect way of life in a positive way. Affect style, fashion, music.
50 Cent wasted no time. Within hours of the court footage going viral, he dropped a bombshell Instagram post featuring a still from the courtroom clip with the caption, "Told y'all he was moving dirty." The truth always comes out. His message wasn't just shade, it was a declaration of war. Fans flooded the comment section, echoing his sentiments. For 50, this wasn't just a moment to troll. It was validation. He'd been calling out Diddy for years, and now, with millions watching the footage, he looked more like a whistleblower than a rival.
For Michael Rubin's all-white party, the real all-white party was Diddy.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
These started in the late 90s and continued on for a very long time. Now I'm going to show you an announcement of him at the party, and he says at a certain hour the kids have to go home. But before I do that, take a look at all of these celebrities who attended these parties. Well, I'm not saying the people who attended these parties are guilty of anything. I just want you to know how highly these parties were regarded. We are talking the highest names in every industry. What happens at these parties, I have no idea. You may have seen the clip of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where they talk about it a little bit, which is absolutely wild, but generally no phones were allowed, so good luck finding clips of the parties. But watch this clip.
It's a legendary white party. It's the real white party. And to all the kids have like an hour left. So get extra comfortable, kids.
So all the leaked footage of Diddy parties right now is going viral, and here's one clip. I mean, there's nothing wrong with this, right? Nothing crazy is happening. But why would they have anything crazy happening with cameras everywhere, right? Like, they're smarter than that. But there you guys go. More footage is going viral.
I met Puff, I was afraid of success, afraid to do anything that could put so much attention on me. And then when I met him, he was the complete opposite. And he was such a good thing for me because I needed what he had. And so his ambition pushed me to be ambitious because I didn't know how, because, you know, when you come from where I come from, you're scared to be ambitious. You're scared to want more. And so when I met Puff, I was, you know, blown away. But it took some years to grow into that and accepting someone that just was so excited about being seen and about having, you know, the lights on them and wanted it for you more than you wanted it for yourself. So, I mean, Puff was a huge inspiration to me.
I want you guys to know, man, it was a terrible thing when we found out that Mary J. Blige's tape came out. You not remember a time, man, when she was with KC from Jodeci, and they were, you know, on drugs, and KC used to put them hands on Mary J. Blige. So back in the day when her freak tape came out, Mary J. Blige even said herself, this was her rite of passage. Guys, I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, and I remember the day. Man, she had a concert out here in Las Vegas, and she was so high, she was like, hey, how you doing tonight, Los Angeles? But we was in Las Vegas. But Mary J, as you remember, man, she wasn't the finest thing when she got on the scene. Mouth kind of twisted off to the side. She wasn't the best looking thing. You know, they found her singing karaoke, some Anita Baker karaoke in the mall, and they dusted her up, polished her up, and Angie Stone started writing for her, and she became who she was. But she definitely was a part of these parties, and she has no regrets.
The gate, y'all remember the second album, but Usher does have a first album that's a classic that you know I executive produced. But most importantly, that's how he became my brother. And to see the way you grow, you have grown, and to see you get better with your craft, and to see the man that you've turned into and the consciousness that you have. I know you've been speaking to Harry Belafonte because you hooked me up with speaking to Harry Belafonte. So your consciousness, you know what I'm saying, has really been a shining example. And the way you just spoken and articulated yourself, imagine me having guardianship for you at 13, and then now you speaking the way that you speaking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, I'm so proud of you.
But don't hit me no more. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, hey, hey.
The bad blood between 50 Cent and Diddy goes back more than a decade, rooted in a mix of industry jealousy, shady business practices, and personal ethics. 50 has long accused Diddy of being fake woke, manipulative behind the scenes, and involved in questionable behavior. Whether it was mocking his Revolt TV moves or calling him out in interviews, 50 consistently positioned himself as the street-smart outsider exposing the elite. This court leak just gave him more ammo, turning his old jabs into serious allegations backed by chilling video.
Puff Love Diddy Combs, or whatever the hell his name is now, we stopped trying to keep track. Celebrating his big 5-0 with some Elaine from Seinfeld moves at a gigantic party at his house, and everybody was there.
The biggest names that were there, Kim and Kanye, Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Is that the order that you want to do that in?
Seriously, you forgot Dougie Fresh, who was also there. He should come first.
The biggest part of the whole night was the fact that Jay-Z and Kanye actually shook hands. They squashed their beef, or at least for that night. Diddy's smiling like, look, I made this happen.
Oh yeah, it was all you, Diddy. Maybe a little help from all the CBD products and Ciroc alcohol that was floating around, but otherwise, all you.
Who else was there?
Who wasn't? Well, maybe not Steve Harvey, because Diddy was banging his daughter. But how about Cardi B and Offset, Kevin Hart, Kobe Bryant, and Post Malone?
It's true. You remind me of my love that I do. I'ma take you back to the red zone. To the red zone. They need to understand. Everyone's got to make it. Here we go.
As Hollywood and the hip-hop industry stayed largely quiet following the leak, choosing to wait for the legal process or avoiding the issue altogether, 50 Cent's unapologetic tone stood out. While celebrities like Jay-Z, Khaled, and French Montana dodged public questions, 50 was out front with interviews, posts, and even podcast soundbites calling the footage just the tip of the iceberg. He mocked the silence of others, saying, "They were all cool with him when he had the money and the power, now they're ghosts."
You've been to some crazy parties, I'm sure. What's the strangest interaction you've had at a party that was like, what's happening right now?
I remember I was lit and I just started dancing with Paris Hilton. I was like, this is kind of crazy.
That is kind of nuts. What song was playing?
I don't even know. It was one of those nights.
Yeah, okay.
Legendary rapper Jay-Z is denying an allegation that he and Sean Diddy Combs raped a 13-year-old girl.
Yeah, an anonymous accuser identified only as Jane Doe made the accusation in a civil lawsuit on Sunday. It alleges that the assault happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party back in 2000. In a statement to NBC News, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, called the accusation idiotic, adding, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever should commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree?" Attorneys representing Combs also dismissed the lawsuit, calling it a shameless publicity stunt. Combs is currently behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center after federal prosecutors charged him in September with racketeering.
In one of his more explosive rants, 50 Cent mentioned Cassie directly, referencing her lawsuit from late 2023 that accused Diddy of assault and manipulation. "Y'all thought Cassie was lying? That girl tried to warn us," he shouted on a live stream. Fans quickly connected the dots, recalling that her case was quietly settled, many suspecting Diddy paid for her silence. But now, with video evidence surfacing and the court pushing ahead, 50 argued Cassie's story was finally being vindicated. He praised her bravery while dragging Diddy for allegedly trying to silence every woman who came forward.
In life. Not even Diddy's bitch. Diddy's new to me, right? He looked after me. He took me on an enforced holiday to Vegas. He's a very intense man because I think he come from nothing and now he's very, very powerful. People that do stuff like that, they're intense.
In another viral moment, 50 claimed Diddy had an entire blackmail vault of tapes used to control artists, execs, and influencers. He filmed everything. Parties, deals, people messed up on drugs, all of it. That's how he stayed powerful, 50 alleged. Though the claims were unproven, many fans pointed to the eerie consistency of people around Diddy falling silent or facing backlash when they crossed him. The idea of blackmail being tied to the entertainment elite isn't new, but 50's allegations, paired with the court footage, gave those whispers a whole new weight.
With Mila Kunis on that 70s show, then they break up for absolutely no reason after he starts hanging out with Diddy. Then he marries Demi Moore, who drained him of all the adrenochrome she can, and apparently he replenished himself by doing inappropriate things where they're doing.
That's why I don't know how they fell out or nothing like that. They was road dogs. You know what I'm saying? They even got pictures of him. He got on that blue sweater with the turtleneck. Him and him hugged up like this with the black hat. Have you ever seen that picture?
Nah, I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure I came across it.
Yeah. That picture there, they was at that party that day. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of weird shit. That whole yeah, that's weird, dude. Yeah, bunch of, it ain't right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no gay basher or none. I mean, none of that shit, but that shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That whole party was weirdoed out.
50 Cent also dropped cryptic warnings about a federal investigation gaining momentum. On X, formerly Twitter, he posted, "They ain't done yet. Feds circling. Rico anyone?" His post referenced the rumored connections between Diddy and various alleged criminal enterprises, suggesting this court leak was just one piece of a much larger case. With multiple ex-employees and collaborators reportedly cooperating with authorities, 50 implied the worst was yet to come, and hinted at a potential downfall that could mirror the likes of Harvey Weinstein or even Epstein.
Silence of certain individuals like LeBron James is quite deafening. A person who claims to care so much about Black life, Black Lives Matter, on the ground, taking a kneel. Okay, that's fine. But now you have a friend of yours who has been on camera beating a Black woman. Okay, you said nothing when that happened. You also know that you have various Black people speaking out about how they were abused by him, and you have said nothing. So I don't like the hypocrisy behind that. It might be a good time to use your platform. I'm calling out the hypocrisy and the double standard of that. If LeBron James had kept his mouth shut on every other issue and said nothing, I wouldn't be like, hey, why is LeBron James being quiet on this issue? I'd say he doesn't typically weigh in on anything, so it wouldn't make sense to put pressure on him to do it. The exact opposite. I'm saying keep the exact same energy that you have had on every other Black issue when it comes to your door and it pertains to a friend of yours that you were partying with. I think that's pretty sensible.
Watch this. Watch this at a charity event. Look what he does with David Beckham. He offers $150,000 for this event, and you have to see what he says at the end. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay. Being that I don't spend a lot of time here and I don't really know the crowd, if you win, you get your choice of one of the other. Choice A is a weekend at my house in the Hamptons, fully staffed on the water, East Hampton, New York. Number 2 is a studio session with me in New York or London. I'll produce a record for you or your kids. Or number 3 is a night out with Diddy, Saturday night in New York. And I promise you, your ass will wake up Wednesday laying beside me.
This is some of the stuff that's going to be revealed, and these are nothing. These are just signs, right? Mm-hmm. But if anything leaks with celebrity names that all of a sudden comes out,
Mr. Wayne Rooney! Me and you, Wayne! Me and you, baby! Yeah! It's a showbiz marriage made in heaven!
Me and you, Wayne. Wayne, I'll give you all 3 if you up it. I'll give you all 3.
2 people for 150. 2 people for 150. Yeah.
50 Cent didn't just target Diddy. He put the entire music industry on notice. In a candid video, he said, "It ain't just him. There's a whole system that let this go on. Managers, execs, enablers, y'all better start talking before the feds knock." He challenged artists to disassociate themselves, saying continuing to support or collaborate with Diddy now would stain their legacy forever. His words felt less like gossip and more like a warning shot to every big name connected to the bad boy mogul.
We were young bucks growing up, and they were getting in a lot of trouble themselves. So, hey, I was like, why don't you come hang out with me?
Though Harry and William are not believed to have ever taken Diddy up on the offer, they did meet and pose for photos with the rapper at a 2007 star-studded concert event for their late mother, Princess Diana. And he and Graham appeared to agree that the extent of their relationship likely ended there.
I do worry because I read that on your that you want to get Prince William and Prince Harry to a Diddy party.
I don't think, not anymore. I mean, before,
Yeah, don't ruin our royal wedding for us.
Trust me, they're off the list.
Prince Harry has been named in a lawsuit against P. Diddy.
Yes,
so he's taking the legal action, or?
Yes, so it's a bit complicated. So yesterday, of course, we were talking about those raids, and they were quite extraordinary, those raids. It was like a military operation going into both the mansions on each coast. And we'll come back to that. But this is unrelated to that. This is coincidental that this story has dropped. So this is the story of a man called Rodney Little Rod Jones, who's a producer who's filed a $30 million civil suit against P. Diddy. He's got several suits against him. Now, in the paperwork for this, he has mentioned Prince Harry's name, using Prince Harry as an example of the sort of people that P. Diddy would mix with. He's not accusing Prince Harry of having done anything wrong whatsoever. And to be very honest, there is no suggestion, there's no evidence that P. Diddy and Prince Harry are friends in any way. This vision you see here was back in 2007 at a charity event, and Prince William there as well. And some newspapers are sort of cropping him out of the photographs they're using. But that seems to be the only time they've met and been together.
I love Diddy. You know, he's a good friend.
In a biting rant, 50 Cent accused mainstream media outlets of protecting Diddy. "If this was me, CNN would have run it every hour," he laughed sarcastically. He called out networks and magazines for burying the story or soft-pedaling their coverage, arguing that Diddy's decades of influence were shielding him from the full weight of public accountability. His fans agreed, blasting media platforms for staying quiet while independent creators and blogs were the ones pushing the footage to the forefront.
Diddy. You know, he's a good friend of mine. He's a good guy.
He expects.
Is he a good guy?
I don't want to answer that
Oh,
question.
wow. I think he's a good guy. I'm going to stick up for him.
Trump and wife Melania have been photographed with Diddy at multiple high-profile events over the years. Diddy previously complimented Trump in a 2015 interview with the Washington Post amid the politician's first presidential bid, saying at the time, "Donald Trump is a friend of mine."
In his most ominous post yet, 50 simply wrote, "The empire is falling. You'll see." With Diddy facing mounting legal challenges, the footage shaking up public perception, and former allies turning silent or distant, 50 Cent sees this as more than just a win. It's a cultural reckoning. He's no longer playing the troll or rapper feuding for attention. In this moment, he's acting like a crusader against the old guard of the music industry. Whether you believe his motivations are pure or personal, one thing is clear. 50 Cent is not letting go of this story anytime soon.
I met Puff. I was afraid of success, afraid to do anything that could put so much attention on me. And then when I met him, he was the complete opposite. And he was such a good thing for me because I needed what he had. And so his ambition pushed me to be ambitious because I didn't know how, because, you know, when you come from where I come from, you're scared to be ambitious. You're scared to want more. And so when I met Puff, I was, blown away. But it took some years to grow into that and accepting someone that just was so excited about being seen and about having, the lights on them and wanted it for you more than you wanted it for yourself. So, I mean, Puff was a huge inspiration to me.
I want you guys to know, man, it was a terrible thing when we found out that Mary J. Blige's tape came out. You not remember a time, man, when she was with KC from Jodeci, and they were, on drugs, and KC used to put them hands on Mary J. Blige. So back in the day when her freak tape came out, Mary J. Blige even said herself, this was her rite of passage. Guys, I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, and I remember the day. Man, she had a concert out here in Las Vegas, and she was so high, she was like, hey, how you doing tonight, Los Angeles? But we was in Las Vegas. But Mary J., as you remember, man, she wasn't the finest thing when she got on the scene. Mouth kind of twisted off to the side. She wasn't the best looking thing. They found her singing karaoke, some Anita Baker karaoke in the mall, and they dusted her up, polished her up, and Angie Stone started writing for her, and she became who she was. But she definitely was a part of these parties, and she has no regrets.
The gate, y'all remember the second album, but Usher does have a first album that's a classic that I executive produced. But most importantly, that's how he became my brother. And to see the way you grow, you have grown, and to see you get better with your craft, and to see the man that you've turned into and the consciousness that you have. I know you've been speaking to Harry Belafonte because you hooked me up with speaking to Harry Belafonte. Mm-hmm. So your consciousness, has really, really been a shining example. And the way you just spoken and articulated yourself, imagine me having guardianship for you at 13 and then now you speaking the way that you speaking. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know, I'm so proud of you.
But don't hit me no more. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. All you heard was Papa, don't hit me no more. Let's go. Kick in the door, waving the 4-4. Hey, hey, hey.
Puff Love Diddy Combs, or whatever the hell his name is now, we stopped trying to keep track. Celebrating his big 5-0 with some Elaine from Seinfeld moves at a gigantic party at his house, and everybody was there.
The biggest names that were there, Kim and Kanye, Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Is that the order that you want to do that in?
Seriously, you forgot Dougie Fresh, who was also there. He should come first.
The biggest part of the whole night was the fact that Jay-Z and Kanye actually shook hands. They squashed their beef, or at least for that night. Diddy's smiling like, look, I made this happen.
Oh yeah, it was all you, Diddy. Maybe a little help from all the CBD products and Ciroc alcohol that was floating around, but otherwise, all you.
Who else was there?
Who wasn't? Well, maybe not Steve Harvey, because Diddy was banging his daughter. But how about Cardi B and Offset, Kevin Hart, Kobe Bryant, and Post Malone?